Hey, Scott, with back-to-back coming up, how do you plan to handle Russ and Davis?
Um, that remains to be seen. We've had having some talks now. Not sure yet. Don't know. I mean, I wish I can tell you for sure what we're going to do. We're still thinking about a few different things. I know DB, his minutes probably will increase slowly. We haven't decided what we will do. We're talking to our medical performance, Russell and myself. But we'll make that decision. We're whatever we do, I feel comfortable with. We're always going to do what's right for each individual player.
And then Rui with conjunctivitis, I know that's pretty contagious. I guess he's not with the team, right? Um, that was something that he had to go through last year for a very different reason. What have you tried to do to kind of keep him involved as he's been out?
Well, just making sure everybody still stays connected with her. That's the hardest thing to do as a player. When you have an injury or something like he has now, um, is being away from your team. You feel lost and it's not easy. But our players have done a good job of making him feel connected. Plus, he's here today now. So today was his first day he came in the building. So he's no longer contagious. But still, he still has to take all the medications and the time. And hopefully, he gets a little, maybe a very light workout. Don't even know if that's going to be the case today, but it was just great. It's actually great to see him. I haven't seen him in so long, and texting and all of that. But it's good to see him. He's in pretty good spirits. He wants to get back. Obviously, what he brings, just that consistent performer, and his defense has gotten much better. He's obviously a big part of our team going forward, but he's in the building, so that's a good sign. It's a start.
Zach?
Hey, Coach. Last night, did you feel like at times you were missing a third scoring option with Rui out and Davis obviously playing limited minutes?
Yeah, I mean, Rui is arguably. I mean, every just seems like every night he's gonna get you 13 to 15 points. Any given night, he can get you 25. But the thing I like about it is he just gives us another big body, a tough body that we can switch. Our defense was really good last night. Our effort was really good last night. And the way we have it, the rotations right now, with Brad and Russell trying to keep them one of those guys on the floor, so we can always use another guy. Uh, because when they're on the floor, we have two really dynamic scorers together. But Rui, like I said, we definitely miss him. We're not an excuse team. We still feel like we had enough to win that game. Our effort was good enough to win that game. I think that's the effort you're going to see. It's Russell raises the intensity level up on everybody. Everybody has to be locked in on every possession. That's what winning basketball players do. And then you double him up with Brad. I think our group's going to get really good. And then you add Rui back in the mix and DV, giving him more minutes eventually. I like where we are. I like where we're going.
Thanks, Coach. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Zach.
Chris Miller?
Scotty, how you doing?
Doing good, Chris. How you doing?
I'm well. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. I want to go to 5:53 left in the game. You're tied at 93. Defensively, where was the disconnect? Because obviously you can look back at the film to see how much Philly was attacking the paint. Where does the responsibility kind of lie on the floor when things like that happen down the stretch?
Well, I think they're obviously an elite basketball team with two high level players, and indeed he was locked in, he was engaged, and when he's like that, he's a problem. We've doubled, we tripled, we play straight up, and they have some shooters on the floor. I think we made some mistakes with our communication. but we also made some mistakes offensively. We missed a lot of easy opportunities to score. Sometimes, most of the time, not even sometimes, if you get a bucket, it allows your defense to really set up and allows their offense to be stagnant at times. And I give them credit. They got some stops. They turned us over too many times. But I like where we are. First game, being on the road, we want a chance to win every game. And with our backcourt, they're going to give us a chance. And we just have to tinker with a few things going forward.
You said communication in your soundbite there, Scotty, and we all know that's something that you really talked about all last year, even including in the bubble. Do you feel like the communication breakdown is just this year incorporating a guy like Russ and maybe incorporating new schemes as opposed to the narrative that was presented last year about lack of communication?
Yeah, I think now I saw last night where we had great communication throughout the game. And a lot of times when you have a team that and it was an intense game, the referees allowed both teams to really, play through contact. But when you have an intense situation, sometimes you forget, whether you're a young player, or just any player in the league, you forget that communication is still highly successful, and it helps the team, so you're not guessing. And I thought that happened. I think our next step, I thought the communication was great until towards the even like the 9-minute mark, that fourth quarter. And that's when you really have to even do much better job. I think it's definitely, I see it coming. Last year I was hoping, and hope should never be a strategy, but I was hoping that it would come around. But when you have a team full of inexperienced players and quiet players on top of that. But Russell is obviously a very vocal leader, and he says the right things because he does the right things and because he believes in all those things. And he's been great. And I think with him and Brad, with the group, I think you're going to see much more of a consistent level of intensity throughout the game, and our communication will improve game by game.
Thanks, Scotty. Appreciate it.
Fred.
Hey, Scott. After looking back at the game and seeing it last night, did you see anything with lineup combinations that you didn't expect when you put them together in either direction? Something that you put out there and you're like, oh, I like that, and I didn't expect that, or vice versa?
Yeah, well, I'm not like, one of the things I focus on, we're all together as a team, but there is definitely going to be some lineups out there that are going to be different from our starting lineup. But I always try to group us as a team. But there's, like last night, I don't think that the bench did not do a good job like they've done, the last couple of days in practice and even the last exhibition game. I know they can play better. I talked to the group today, and I talked to guys individually. They know they can play better, and I have a lot of confidence. It's one game, and a lot of moving parts, a lot of new parts, and a lot of different spots. With Rui out, we're changed a lot of things that going forward, just to kind of fight, continue to have good minutes without him. But I'm surprised that the bench did not play better, but I anticipate them coming back, bouncing back next game.
Ava.
Hey, Scott. Merry Christmas. Wondering about, you mentioned turnovers last night. Obviously, you guys had a little bit too many of them. We were talking to some guys afterwards. I think it was Russ who said, if he's playing hard, if he's trying to make the play, he's fine with some of those turnovers. Wondering where you kind of fall on, some of those are going to happen when you're playing the way Russ plays and needing to scale it back.
Yeah, I always classify turnovers in many different categories. There's turnovers you're trying to help your team score, and then there's turnovers you're trying to get some scoring opportunities for yourself. And I thought our turnovers last night, they were trying to help the guys get looks, and a lot of them were unforced, and a lot of them was just random. Like Russell had a random one, Brad had an easy one. I didn't even think Russell threw it to him. He bobbled the ball. those are the turnovers you can live with. The ones that you're just trying to, break the play and trying to create for yourself. And those are the ones I don't like. But definitely 20 turnovers. I thought we played pretty good offensively. We missed some layups. I thought we missed some opportunities, but we take away, cut away. We've been a pretty good. Last year we were pretty good not turning the ball over, and I feel we still have a team that's not going to turn it over a lot. But yeah, Russell's turnovers. He does so many good things. You look at all the league leaders in turnovers. You would take any of them on your team, but the ones I don't like, and I didn't see many of them, if any, is the selfish turnovers that you're trying to score, go through three players.
And then with your guys' home opener coming up, obviously, is home court advantage this year without fans kind of just being in comfort of getting to sleep in your own bed and being familiar with all of the testing protocols in your arena? How does that kind of change this year for you guys?
It definitely still a home advantage because, like you said, we're at our home. We're in our home. We have our normal routine. We're familiar with the building. We definitely miss the fans. It's for the entire NBA. We're all in the same position, but we want to protect it, and we feel that there's still an advantage being home, and we know that. On the road, there's just different. The protocols are so different than our normal, but you still have to be able to adapt without excuses. And our group has done that so far. We have to, can't let our guard down. We can't. We have to continue to do what we need to do to stay safe. But home definitely is. It's easier. It's definitely easier to get around and move around, and being familiar with what we do on a day-to-day basis can help you play and perform better at home.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, last question from Neil.
Hey, Coach, to follow up on Chris's question a little bit, last 6 minutes of the game, there were a couple screens where Russ maybe was expecting a switch, and then there were a couple times where he was playing a little bit of center field and Simmons was by the rim. I'm curious, are those just things that, chemistry-wise, they're going to take some time, or are they just in the moment mental lapses, or a combination of all of that?
I think that particular time, Russell thought Simmons was clearing out. So he was and he thought Embiid was rolling. So he made a decision. We didn't have the backside ready, but he probably, if he had to do it over again, if the game was played in slow motion, he would have never done that. But you have to make these plays quick. These are all quick decisions, and probably some of their mistakes is that we haven't been together, but some of them, they made the same mistakes that we made. They were just able to capitalize on some of their offense. I thought they have really. Embiid is high. He made every mid-range shot, and those are the shots you kind of want to live with the contest, and he was able to make some of those. All right, guys, have a good Christmas. See you guys soon.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, Davis, happy holidays to you and your family.
Same to you.
How do you manage minutes restriction? I know you're competitive as hell. How do you manage that? How do you flow your game through restricted minutes?
Well, for me, it doesn't change anything. I think I can. Some games I can do the same thing in 5-10 minutes, what I can do in 30 minutes. So it's not that big of a difference. But how I manage, that's more up to the coaching staff because when they tell me to check in, I check in.
Chase.
Yes. Hey, Davis. First of all, when you came in yesterday and hit those 3 threes and really changed the game, that I know you played in the preseason, but you hadn't really played in a game that counted in a long time. Can you just describe what that sequence was like and how it felt to be back out there?
Well, that sequence was basically, I think, when I got the first one from the corner, and then after that, when the second one came in the next offense, then the feeling came is like I'm back. I just needed 15 minutes on the court to make up for those 7 months, and then the third one was when I let that go. I was like, that's for sure in.
And Coach Brooks said that he thought the defense was really good last night. And, that's not something we heard him say a lot last year. As a guy who was on this team last year, what did you see that was different?
I think the overall effort, we still made mistakes, but I think we didn't give up on plays. Sometimes we got stuck on the screens, but I think the intensity was there. Awareness was there. We switched out. We kept hustling on defense, even on the mismatches, helped each other. And I think the biggest key is just helping each other. We're going to make mistakes on defense, but if we play a team defense, we can fix those mistakes easily.
Fred.
Hey, Davis. Curious, do you have conversations with Russell, since you're both just so new to each other, about where you like the ball, like in terms of placement on passes, floor placement, all that kind of stuff?
Well, we haven't really had a conversation like that. I think it just came naturally. I think I'm pretty good at finding the open space on the court, and Russ is excellent at finding players when they're open. So it just came natural, and I never even had to tell him like I want to be there or I want to come off the screen that way. Just I think he's seen plenty last season when playing against us.
Is there a spot in particular that you like to receive the ball that you feel the most comfortable going up?
Behind the 3-point line.
Nice, man.
Ava.
Hey, Davis. This might be a silly question, so sorry, but you spoke about how for like months and months when you were back home over the summer, all you could do was individual work in the gym. By that, do you just mean you're literally just there every day, like putting up 3 after 3 after 3, or what your kind of individual regimen entail?
Well, individual work was plenty of time in the weight room, keeping my legs right. That's, I think, the toughest part coming back. If you haven't played for a while, if your legs aren't ready, then it's tough to get back in the rhythm. And that was one of the keys the whole summer. And the second was I just kept working on what I'm doing on the court. I didn't invent a new bicycle. I just kept doing what I do, shooting threes, sometimes standing a little bit further away from the basket, and making sure the consistency is there, whether it's from the 3-point line or further out.
Cool. Thank you.
Neil.
Hey, Davis. For pretty much your entire career, 75% of your shot attempts have been behind the 3-point line. I'm curious for you, how do you balance, a lot of teams are going to key on you for that, but how do you balance either taking a 2-point shot on a drive or giving the ball up? Is it just a matter of you in the moment saying, okay, whether you're open or not? How does all of that kind of process in your head during the game?
I think it's a lot on whether I've had a couple of looks that I got. Like I always try to get the first one, second one, a good look, and I make those. Then after that is basically then I don't care if I catch the ball. I'm confident I can make the shot regardless of the defense. So yeah, the key is always the first one, a good look when you check in, especially coming off the bench, and then after that is just whatever. Like if the defense really doing a great job and 2 guys are on me jumping out, then of course I try to find a teammate to keep moving if they get a good look out of that, or I just keep moving and get myself open again.
Chris Miller.
DB, Steph and Damian Lillard have both kind of, I would assume they're joking, but with those two and the way that they shoot, they talked about maybe one time launching from half court. Have you ever thought about doing it, or have you ever done it that we've just never seen it, where you just said, as soon as I cross half court, I'm letting it fly?
It's hard. I can't really say half court, but I think last season a couple of times was pretty close to the half court circle area. Then it depends on the feeling. It's not gonna be my first option. It's not gonna be the first shot of the game probably, but if I make some, especially if I got some looks that I've been deeper a little bit, then why not? If I can make it, I know that the coach might say something if I miss it, but if I make it, no one's gonna say anything.
Okay, you're up 20 with like 2 minutes to go. Well, you probably wouldn't be in the game then, though. But would you think about doing it then?
No, up 20, we're running out the clock for sure.
Okay. So it would be like an in-game situation where like the game is close. You would probably think about it.
Yeah, I would say the most likely one is a game that is almost out of reach, like 20 seconds left and down 6, and you need that 3 from wherever. And if you make it, you still give yourself a chance. And very often in those situations where you're down 6, like the other team is doing everything in their power to not let you shoot threes and just let you go to the 2-point shot. And that's when you sometimes get a launcher from crossing the half court.
Fred, do you have another? Or are you good?
Oh no, sorry, Matt. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you, Davis.
Thank you.